This Big Ten SEC matchup has provided outstanding shooting in the early going. Both clubs at a 55% clip or better. Georgia getting it done in the open court, and Bertha Robinson back into the lineup after missing the first round matchup against Clemson with the stomach virus.
Another example of the Bulldogs and their ability to go after loose balls and rebounds.
Nordin, count it, and a foul. Just into the game, John Nordin, the freshman out of Shiloh High School in Lithonia, Georgia. Miller picks up the foul. Porter Roberts will come into the game to replace Alan Eldridge. One top seed has gotten through today. UMass out of the East. Purdue, of course, got that critical scare against Western Carolina. Let's take a look at our brackets here in the West. Most believe that Purdue would be challenged to come out of this bracket. Georgia will provide it as an 8th seed, and the Cinderella story Drexel will meet Syracuse later today, the 12th seed against the 4th seed.
I think that Drexel-Syracuse game is going to be an awful lot of fun.
Well, the Razorbacks of the Southeastern Conference have given the league a 5-0 start in the NCAA tournament. Foster, the senior, back in the saddle again. He loves to bronc ride and bull ride, and he can also knock down the perimeter jumper. Nordin, there's Foster pulling it down. He brings a lot of energy to the Purdue lineup. Steve Jones got his hand in there to deflect it. They will say that the ball belongs to Georgia.
Ball was touched last by Porter Roberts, and all he had to do was either touch it or let it go out of bounds. It would have gone to the Bulldogs.
Terrell Bell takes the seat along with John Nordin. Shandon Anderson back into the game.
Todd Foster comes in the game, and he always makes something happen. Diving on the floor, as you mentioned, after loose ball, but has a terrific outside shot. On the season, he's over 40% behind that arc, so find him when he comes in the game.
A modern-day Gene Autry. Nice cut by Davis, but they missed him. Carlos Strong gets the lob instead from Anderson, and we are tied at 20. K2 Davis with that reach-in foul.
Carlos Strong does a terrific job of holding his own down on the block. Look at this lock, and then a lob over the top by Shannon Anderson allows the ball to go inside.
Talk of senior-laden teams. Both of these clubs have a lot of veteran savvy about them. But for Georgia, perhaps far more to prove than Purdue. Foster double team.
And in proving so, Tim, it makes an awful lot of sense for the Bulldogs to come out and try to be a little more aggressive with their style of play. The 8 seniors have always been, everybody says, classic underachievers.
Roberts gives the Boilermakers a 2-point lead. Michael Chadwick into the game for the first time. Number 24, the freshman out of Phoenix City, Alabama for the Bulldogs. Young backcourt of G.G. Smith and Ray Harrison played well the other night. Anderson rejected by Bradley. Loose ball to Purdue. Utah winner today in a hard-fought game against Tim Floyd's Iowa State club, and with Keith Van Horn fouling out. What a performance by the Runnin' Utes.
Well, Van Horn had the flu in that game, so it was good to see him back in action.
Razorbacks a winner, and the Minutemen taken to the limit by Brevin Knight and Deion Cross, the Stanford Cardinal.
I still like the Minutemen going to the Final Four.
That potential matchup in the Elite Eight with Georgetown will be a tough take.
It certainly will, if they both make it that far.
Shot clock way down to 1. Roberts and Shandon Anderson trying to run it down. Last touch by Purdue and Justin Jennings. We've played 8+ minutes, entertaining early.
Yes, another morning, another trek to the office. But in the new Mercedes E-Class, you're in one of the safest cars on the road. You're inside a protective cage with front airbags and, get this, side airbags. Heaven knows there are animals on these roads.
FedEx has over 33,000 drop-off spots to take your 2-day package. Cost about $12.
UPS has over 75,000 drop-off spots for your 2-day package. Cost about $6.
The U.S. Postal Service has over 330,000 drop-off spots for your Priority Mail 2 to 3-day package. Cost exactly $3.
So, 12, 6, 3. What's your priority? Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
In the beginning, investors wandered the land, pursuing success, fleeing misfortune. Slowly, some investors tired of following the herd. They learned to tame the beast called wealth. They built a wall around it, and then a future. Are you still wandering around in the dark, or are you ready to settle down and build something? Ask your financial advisor about Kemper funds to start building tomorrows, today.
At Michelin, we believe a tire that's just good in the rain isn't good enough. Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year, unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It's the one tire that gives you better wet traction than any rain tire, plus control in any driving condition. After all, it hasn't rained that much in years. The Michelin X1.
Pat O'Brien in New York with the score 22-20. Purdue, the #1 seed, leading by 2. We'll keep you up to date on this game, but we want to send you out to Dallas and Reunion Arena for the start of your game. Virginia Tech, they'll have their hands full with Kentucky. The Wildcats, the #1 seed down there. And we'll see how that game goes and send you out there right after this.
Even better, broken in.
For a while there, I felt like I was the only one who hadn't taken the high endurance challenge from Old Spice. It seemed like lots of guys were using it, so I gave it a shot. Because this proves it deserves a shot. It evaporates less quickly, also lasts longer, protects better. Old Spice guarantees it. If you don't think it's the best, call 1-800-PROVE IT and they'll buy you a stick of your old deodorant. Mine never guaranteed anything like that. I guess that's why it's my old deodorant. Hey, take the high endurance challenge, because now you got proof. Guaranteed.
Every time you make a long-distance call, AT&T sends out a signal to check the quality of the line, automatically routing around trouble before you've even finished dialing. Because at AT&T, we don't just say your calls get through. We guarantee it.
Linda, I'd like to bounce an idea off you.
AT&T, for the life of your business.
Join 60 Minutes Ed Bradley at ringside Sunday to watch Muhammad Ali, still the greatest, in the fight of his life against the toughest opponent he ever fought, Parkinson's syndrome.
One to go here in the Midwest Regional in Dallas, Texas. The Virginia Tech Hokies from the Atlantic 10 set to take on the Wildcats of Kentucky. Utah has already advanced. They will play the winner of this one next week. I'm Mike Lorman, along with the coach, George Raveling. The 2 T's in this one, tempo and turnovers.
Well, Mike, for 40 minutes, there's going to be a game within the game. And that inner game is all about turnovers. Kentucky wants to create them in massive doses. Virginia Tech wants to keep them down. They're only averaging 12 turnovers a game, Mike.
And number 24 for Kentucky, Antoine Walker. If you haven't seen him, he's a highlight waiting to happen out there.
Well, Mike, Antoine Walker, when he keeps his priorities in order, the first priority being to create for his teammates, He makes Kentucky awfully difficult to defense. He's a sterling passer, but when he tries to create for himself, he reduces Kentucky's offensive efficiency. He's a young man who said, as a high school player, I patterned my game after Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah would be proud of that little exchange right there. We are just about set to go. Let's check the starting lineups. Ace Custis, Sean Smith, Travis Jackson, and the backcourt of Watlington and Sean Good will have a lot of pressure on those two young men as the afternoon goes on. Kentucky has Anderson, Epps, McCarty, Walker, and Delk. How about that? Virginia Tech, the only opening game loss of Adolph Rupp's career, the last time that these two teams met. Tom Rucker, Dan Chrisman, Rick Hartzell. Tom Rucker's going to throw it up, and we are underway. And there's Walker jumping in front of Watlington, comes up with the tap. Walker loses the handle, gets it back, keeps it alive, gets two.
Immediately, Kentucky goes to that press. A decision that Virginia Tech has to make is, do we want to beat it on the drill, or do we want to beat it on the pass? Do we want to shoot it early, or do we want to hold it?
Damon Watlington, very slow to get on track in the first game the other night. Buries a three just 20 seconds into this one. And Tony Delk is going to get to the free throw line. Watlington's going to pick up that foul. Rick Pitino, 7th season as the Kentucky head coach. 71% of his games W's. Bill Foster, and a great career for Bill Foster. 500 wins overall, 5th season at Virginia Tech.
Mike, Damon Watlington really is effective in a 94-foot game. And the reason for that is that shots come a lot easier in a 94-foot game for a spot-up three-point shooter.
Tony Delk is one of those, and he had 22 in the first game. Gets his free throws in. Wildcats back out 4-3. Georgia with the early lead on Purdue. Boy, this has been an adventure, this NCAA tournament for Purdue. Watlington to the hole for two.
Exactly what I was talking about in a 94-foot game. And quick movement help defenses greatly distorted.
Loose ball off to Smith. Custis got a hand in there to deflect the pass.
Early on, Bill Foster has decided to attack the Kentucky pressure.
Ace Custis drains the jump shot. No fear in the eyes of the Hokies.
Those early possessions are going to build confidence for Virginia Tech.
Mercer in and Anderson out early as Rick Pitino early and often to the bench. Great start for the Hokies. Here's Walker down on the block, spins away, knocked out of bounds. Jackson got a hand in there on the ball. It'll still be Kentucky basketball. Epps comes up shooting. I think they got the foul. Yes, they do. They got the foul on Mercer.
Push in the back.
That's the first on the freshman.
So much is said about Kentucky's system of play. In my opinion, systems of play are irrelevant. What's relevant is how well you execute what you do.
Sean Good in trouble. Delk the interception. Delk the dish. Very unselfish play there by the Wildcats. And Walker will get to the line.
The mistake that was made here by Sean Good was to jump up in the air and look to make the pass. Once you're up in the air, you are now vulnerable to the defense. And Kentucky had a nice read and got into the passing lane and picked it off.
Sean Good had them all, and he picked up his first personal foul. Antoine Walker, the multi-talented sophomore.
This young man is a talent-rich player. He has the physical skills to excel at any facet in the game of basketball.
Knocks down his free throws. Wildcats down one. Walker Neely came up with the steal. Thought he had knocked it off Watlington's sneaker. Dan Chrisman says no.
And Kentucky quickly changes its defense, Mike. They went from a zone press into a man-to-man press. That takes good communication amongst the 5 defenders to make that work.
Custis couldn't get the handle. Loose ball to Mercer. Immediately, he's got his head up looking for somebody on the break. Gets it to Epps. Air ball, 3 attempts. Watlington picks it off on the baseline. The other way, it's good. Custis inside Jackson. Outside, good. Fakes it. Takes it. Tipped up by Custis. No, Mercer. Another rebound. McCarty handles it on the break. Who doesn't handle it on the break?
Kentucky is a difficult team to defense in transition because they come at you in waves and they come from a variety of angles. That time, Ron Mercer came from behind the ball and there was no one to pick him up.
And Jackson guilty of the turnover inside, or make that Smith.
Jeff Shepard in for Kentucky.
Let's look at this defensive pressure here. Turnover margin +11, +10 against Vanderbilt. Amazing numbers. San Jose State +17.
We've only played 3 minutes and Rick Pitino's already made 2 substitutions.
McCarty goes the other way, has that partially blocked by Custis. Jackson picks it off. Shepard in the game now for Kentucky.
Mike, so much has been made of Kentucky's three-point production that teams protect that three-point line and it opens up the interior and Kentucky goes down and posts up their guards.
Good after his own miss. And I think
the movement is equally quick.
And a blocking foul is going to be called in the backcourt on the freshman Murphy.
So active at both ends of the court. Kentucky is in a 2-3 zone right now. They're giving Virginia Tech a different look. Rick Pitino's up on the sideline, and he is really encouraging his players to move their feet.
Yeah, they are out of the blocks appreciably quicker than they were against San Jose State. The rebound taken down in there by Epps. Shepard, Pope, Walker, 2. Antoine Walker must have been watching the monitor when we talked about him to begin this game. He's got 9 of the first 13.
Early on, I'm not certain that this is the pace that Bill Foster wants. Kentucky definitely has Virginia Tech playing at an accelerated pace.
Jackson gets free for 2 underneath. First 2 for Travis, the 6'8 senior. Here's Anderson making a move. It must be nice to have that many answers on the floor at once, Coach.
Let me tell you something. There aren't that many answers at Princeton.
There's a steal by Pope. Look at the unselfish play. That's remarkable, isn't it?
That's the genius of Rick Pitino, to get players who are go-to guys in high school to share the basketball.
Custis comes up shooting. It's an air ball. Epps comes away with it.
I don't like the tempo of this game for Virginia Tech.
And Shepard is called for a travel off the catch. And look at this. 3 players are coming in off the Kentucky bench. McCarty, Delk, and Wayne Turner will come in. Epps, Walker, and Shepard all sit down.
I just do not believe that Virginia Tech can sustain this fast tempo for 40 minutes. Kentucky's bench is too deep.
Jim Jackson has come into the game. He's out there with Troy Mans, Smith, Travis Jackson, and Watlington for Virginia Tech. Mans comes up shooting and buries it.
Virginia Tech has decided that they're going to maintain an aggressive mental attitude about offense.
Tony Delk buries a jump shot. 19-11 Kentucky by 8. Watlington misses the three. McCarty has it tipped away. Let's see who was last to touch it. I think it was Smith. Yes, it was.
Let's talk about the Kentucky press. Thus far in the game, it's created a fast tempo for Virginia Tech, and it's caused Virginia Tech to take quick shots.
What do you do?
On most of the possessions, Mike, Virginia Tech's made 2-3 passes at the most and shoot. That's exactly what the Wildcats want you to do.
So you got to get that number up around 5 or 6?
Well, you're in a trap. If you rush into that offense and you shoot early and don't make it, particularly when your offense is spread,
That's
you're
Troy
in trouble.
Mann. Excuse me, Coach. That's Troy Mann's over there on the Virginia Tech bench. Be careful. I couldn't tell whether he was just winded or whether he got hurt. He seemed to be working on the back of his neck. Jackson comes down with that miss. Sean Good back in the game with Travis Jackson, Jim Jackson, Smith, and Watlington, and we're going to get a hold on Tony Delk down there on the baseline as Watlington got away from him. 12:46 to go. Mans appears to be okay. Here's Sean Good. And he travels with it. I was just about to say this is the longest they have made Kentucky play defense, but it results in their 5th turnover. It's amazing. Kentucky has the ball right back up and inside 7 seconds into the shot clock. They're getting a 5-foot shot, Coach.
What Kentucky does is when they come down in transition, they spot 4 players around the three-point arc, and they run a guard, either Epps or Delk, to the box. Suck the defense out, kick the ball inside to the big guard for a one-on-one low post action.
And a timeout is called as Virginia Tech was having some trouble here. And Bill Foster going to take a 20 or a pull. It will be a 20-second timeout. Let's check in with Bob LaBelle. Bob.
All right, Mike Gorman, Troy Mann just simply had the wind knocked out of him. He's going to be just fine. They'll get back in. Question is, how much of a difference is he going to make with this blitzkrieg going on right now, 19-11? But Troy Mann is going to be fine.
All right, thanks, Bob. Kentucky's fine so far, too. 19-11, they lead this one by 8, 12-17 to go in the first half. I'll look at the action here in the Midwest. And Kentucky or Virginia Tech will meet Utah, who won our earlier game today. And then tomorrow, Louisville and the Villanova Wildcats, Texas and Wake Forest to see who moves on in the Midwest.
A couple things Virginia Tech has to keep in mind is, number one, don't pick your dribble up too soon against the press. And the second thing that you want to do is don't wait for the trap to come to you before you start to attack it. Attack it early. Split the trap.
Good. Smith was looking for Watlington. Now comes back the other way to Good. Sean into the lane. Watlington. Good look at a 3, and he knocks it down.
And that's the first possession in a long time where Virginia Tech was patient. 5 players touching the ball. Good player movement, good ball movement.
Hokies come up with the turnover. Here's Watlington the other way. 5-point game, 19-14. Smith gets doubled. In a bit of trouble, keeps the dribble alive.
Smart basketball by Smith. He dribble out of that double team.
Watlington will stop and go into the lane. Watlington, no. Rebound tipped. Jackson slaps at it. And he's going to pick up a foul. That'll be the first on Travis Jackson. With a timeout, 1914 Kentucky. They're going to have to get some bounces like that if they're going to pull off the upset. 21-16. It's a 5-point Kentucky lead.
Kentucky looks a lot more focused in this game than they did in the early stages of the San Jose game.
And fatigue is always something that you and I, listening to Rick Pitino in the press conference yesterday when he was talking about reasons for runs, and fatigue was a big one, wasn't it?
No question about it. What Kentucky looks for is they look for a big run in the second half. They don't want to, if they get a big run in the first half, fine, but the one that they really want is in the second half. They feel that's the one that'll break their opposition's back. That's what happened against San Jose, Mike.
Anderson with the Custis miss. Custis got a hand in there. Pope did not. So it'll stay Kentucky ball. Anthony Epps comes in, and Wayne Turner goes out.
Travis Jackson for Virginia Tech.
And Travis Jackson's going to come back in. Epps, who shot so well against San Jose State, missed his first two today.
I think that Epps is their most valuable complimentary player.
Right on cue.
Well, he fills all the voids at both ends of the court for Kentucky. And he does them in the most important times in the game.
Good. Throws it up. Rebound taken off the floor. Here come the Wildcats. They got numbers on this break. And a traveling violation is called on Epps.
Two teams who realized a lot of success against the Kentucky press were Mississippi State and perhaps in the first half of the game the other day, San Jose. And one way they were successful was throwing the ball over the top of the press. Virginia Tech has not done too much of throwing it over the top. A lot of dribbling, a lot of short passes.
Purdue down. Eastern Michigan has gone ahead of Connecticut 40-37. UMass a winner earlier today, and they had their hands full, and that's an upset right there. Arkansas, Nolan Richardson doing a great job with a young team, Coach.
Nolan Richardson is one of the fine basketball coaches in this country. He's won national championships at all levels that he's coached. Won a national championship as a JC coach, national championship as a four-year coach.
Jackson. Rebound tip. Custis tried to keep it alive, but Delp came up with it. Epps up to Anderson. Anderson gets hammered by Travis Jackson. And on Jackson, that will be his second. Here's the outlet pass. Kentucky just doesn't give you a chance to get a breath.
Derek Anderson, a transfer from Ohio State. He's a fine basketball player.
Mark Pope is going to tee it up and make it.
Kentucky has two transfer students on the floor right now, Derek Anderson and Mark Pope. Anderson transferring from Ohio State, as I said. Mark Pope transferring from the University of Washington.
First double-digit lead of the day. Mann's unable to hit. Good tracks down the loose ball. 26-16 Kentucky. We're approaching 8 minutes to go in the first half.
Virginia Tech is getting very few interior shots. Kentucky has pushed their offense out beyond the three-point line.
Ten seconds. Mans. That was a nice dish by Mans. Good, unable to make the shot, though. Here come the Cats again. Epps. Anderson, three.
In the Kentucky transition game, they will always use one player as a trailer. He will enter the offense late after the defense thinks they picked up everybody.
It's a 13-point game. Kentucky has the lead. 9-16 lead. 6 Virginia Tech turnovers to this point. Kentucky on one of their runs. They seem to live on runs, actually. Antoine Walker is perfect from the field. Coach, you were hoping Virginia Tech, if they were going to stay in this game, could keep that turnover number to 15 or less. 6 so far.
Well, I think Bill Foster was hoping that.
I know he was hoping. Epps, the quick hands. Anderson walked with it.
Sean Smith.
Derek Anderson,
Virginia Tech.
a junior who's from Louisville, Kentucky. Travis Jackson's going to sit down on the Virginia Tech bench.
Here, look at that Virginia Tech bench. You see Bobby Hussey, Bill Foster's #1 assistant and one of his best friends in life. Bobby Hussey used to be the head coach at Davidson. And Bill and Bobby share the coaching responsibilities.
Custis has his shot rejected, and Epps comes up with the loose ball. And that's going to be a kick and a fresh 35 seconds for the Kentucky Wildcats. 6:35 to go here in the first half. Kentucky a 13.29 to 16 lead.
Jeff Shepard returns for Kentucky.
And Kentucky, as always, getting points and production off their bench. Shepard in, and Epps is back out again.
But Kentucky's bench is a lot more potent than Virginia Tech's.
Tony Delka stripped. Nice hands by Custis. Sean Good spinning away, gets it ahead. Watlington the dish underneath. Smith clears and gets 2.
Sean Smith.
Walter McCarty, who's been very quiet, trying to get inside to Walker. It's McCarty, Walker, Shepard, Delk, and Anderson. Rick Pitino can't believe that call, but the ball's coming back to Virginia Tech. It's Custis, Mans, Smith, Watlington. They missed Custis, who had gone on the down and out.
Troy Mans, his first personal foul.
Mans picking up that personal foul. And that's the 6th team foul on Virginia Tech.
As Virginia Tech continues to attack this press with the dribble, while the ball handler is dribbling, it allows Kentucky to shift.
Just under 6 minutes to go here in the first half. The Kentucky Wildcats on one of their runs. Antoine Walker is a perfect 4 of 4 in the game. He's got 11, and it's 31-18, a 13-point Kentucky lead. The press has paid some dividends so far for the Wildcats. Good, nice little ball fake, but well short with the jump shot. Out of bounds, last to touch it, Antoine Walker.
Alan Edwards in for Kentucky.
Earlier today, Rick Majerus' club, a hard-fought win over the Cyclones of Iowa State. They await the winner of this game next week.
When you dribble against the Kentucky press, you allow the back line of the press to adjust. You've got to keep pressure on the back line, try to throw over top, hit the ball in the middle, and go to the wings.
Tony Delton. That was a big time rebound there by Antoine Walker.
Walker is just dominating the interior of the Virginia Tech defense.
Eastern Michigan and Connecticut now tied at 43. That's a seesaw game. Ace Custis. A lot of writers were giving him the award for the best tattoo they had seen this year.
If you were to search through most of the major cities in America today and poll basketball fans, I doubt if you could get more than 1 out of 10 who could tell you the starting lineup for Kentucky or even who its leading scorer is. And this is a great basketball team. And I think that that's not a negative for Kentucky. I think it's a positive.
Walker 1 of 2. He's the leading scorer today. Delk is over the course of the season. Kentucky by 14. Watlington hits another 3. Damon keeping the Hokies within shouting distance. He's got 11. The Kentucky lead is 11. Allen Edwards gets knocked down by Sean Good taking the shot, and he's going to go to the line for 3.
Sean Good, his second personal foul.
That's the second personal foul for Sean Good, and as Coach was saying, when you're getting this kind of production off your bench,
Jim Jackson.
you know, Red Auerbach always used to say it's who finishes the game, not who starts it, and I think Rick Pitino buys into that a little bit.
Well, you look at that lineup there. Shepard was one of the players. He started 27 games last year. Now he has been relegated to the bench.
And you were telling me you think next year he'll probably end up this team's high scorer, right?
There's no doubt in my mind that Shepard will be their leading scorer next year.
Ron Mercer, freshman over on the bench. Epps getting some time.
Most of those guys sitting on the bench for Kentucky would be starters at probably 75% of the schools in Division I. And I could think of a couple expansion teams they could start for.
Edwards makes 2 of 3. Kentucky by 14 as we've got under 5 minutes. Jackson tracks it down at half court as Virginia Tech really struggling from the field, as we just showed you.
And they're struggling to find quality shots. Smith
Kicks it back out. Jackson will take it with 2 on the shot clock, and he knocks it down.
Anytime the ball goes to the low post area, Kentucky immediately doubles down, and they double down with Antoine Walker, and it makes it very difficult for the ball handler to get the pass out of the low post because of Walker's size and his long arms.
Edwards kicks it back. Kentucky in single digits on the shot clock. You just never see that, Coach. We're going to get a timeout. 3:43 to go here, first half. Wildcats by 11.
When a couple from New Jersey had problems adopting a baby from Guatemala, AT&T Language Line Associates did all the interpreting. When the blizzard of '96 blanketed the Northeast, AT&T operators worked through without relief. And when an American traveling overseas found her calling card number had been stolen, an AT&T fraud protection specialist approved her call home on the spot. People stopping at nothing to make sure your world has no limits. That's your true choice, AT&T.
The sophisticated material that's used to make the cockpit canopy of the F-16 fighter shatter-resistant is the same material we use to make the headlamp covers on the Aurora. So you can imagine how advanced the rest of the car is. Aurora by Oldsmobile. It's your money.
Imagine a satellite system that turned digital signals into vivid pictures and CD-quality sound. What would it look like? How big would it be? Oh, about 18 inches. The RCA Digital Satellite System. Customized programming and the power of digital technology. Now in a convenient take-home size.
See the new RCA brand DSS system and save up to $100 by mail on select RCA products.
They give a deal to everyone? I thought I was special, baby!
FedEx has over 33,000 drop-off spots to take your 2-day package. Cost about $12.
UPS has over 75,000 drop-off spots for your 2-day package. Cost about $6.
The U.S. Postal Service has over 330,000 drop-off spots for your Priority Mail 2 to 3 day package. Cost exactly $3.
So, 12, 6, 3. What's your priority? Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Molly takes on Scottie Pippen.
It is the shoes.
35-24 is our halftime. It's not a halftime score. We're getting close to halftime, though. 3:43 left to play here. Gotta get a pair of those before I leave. Coming up on Pennzoil at the half, Pat O'Brien and Clark Kellogg will get you updated on all the tournament news, all the scores and highlights. 2 #1 seeds are in trouble as I speak, plus a live look in at all the action going on in the NCAA tournament. That's all coming up on Pennzoil at the half. Walker the miss. Watlington, the loose ball. Watlington coming around the screen. Delk stays with him, gives it up to Mans. Good to see Mans back on the floor. Smith out high. Jackson pumps out. He just hit a 3. 7 on the shot clock. Jackson again, stripped by Shepard. Loose ball underneath. It goes with 1 on the shot clock. Smith gets the hoop. Hokies are right there, Coach. Down 9.
Kentucky cannot apply the knockout blow.
Whistle and the foul. I think it's going against Allen Edwards in the rebounding action.
About midway in the first half, Kentucky had them on the ropes. They had Virginia Tech staggered, but they could not come up with that big run that they liked.
His second personal foul, team foul number 7.
Look out there, number 40, Walter McCarty. Did you know he's an excellent R&B singer?
Did not know that.
Oh, yes. He entertains the team on the road. He gets around the piano and he entertains the team with some R&B music.
Jim Jackson didn't have a lot of confidence in that free throw. He went after it, but it went down. That's the first free throw attempt of the day for Virginia Tech. They're back within 8. Quietly snuck right back into this game. And there is David Jackson, Jim's twin brother. Kentucky fans getting a little restless here, 35-28. 7-0 run by the Hokies. Over the top, Anderson, and Jackson's called for the foul.
Kentucky picks up where they left off against San Jose. 4 out, 1 in. Post up a big guard. You try to front them, they throw over top. You play behind, they bounce pass it in. Because of the spacing in the Kentucky offense, it's awfully difficult to defend that low post man, particularly with small guards.
Anderson was able to coax in that first free throw. Second one won't stay for him. Custis comes down with it. And Virginia Tech can get to within 6. Virginia Tech off the offensive board. Jim Jackson has the ball and a chance to get to 6 again as we wind down the first half. The Hokies in the midst of a 7-0 run after it looked like Kentucky was going to put them away. Instead, off the ball, I think they got Walter McCarty with the foul. Nope, make it Anderson. It's the first on Derek Anderson, but it'll put the Hokies back at the free throw line, and Sean Smith will get a chance to add to his 6-point total, and more importantly, get his team a little closer here. Yeah, Smith, an 82% free throw shooter over the course of the season. Can't let those opportunities get away when you play the Wildcats. Rick Pitino not happy. Look at that, Coach. More turnovers for the Wildcats.
That is a surprise. Mike, the Kentucky defense has done a nice job of taking Ace Custis out of the Virginia Tech offense. Ace is 1 for 4. He's got 2 points and 2 rebounds.
Mans unable to get around Epps. 6 on the clock. Jackson. Rebound taken by Shep. Looked up quickly, but there was nothing doing on the break. We approach the final minute to go here in the half.
The intense pressure of the Kentucky defense will force players to take quick and ill-advised shots.
Epps takes it back out. Look back at Rick Pitino, who screamed at him what he wanted him to do.
You could hear Rick Pitino all the way over here. He yelled, "Walter, set the screen." And you know what? Walter will set it because he wants to stay on the floor.
He'll set it next time. There's no question about that.
Walter McCarty, 2 shots.
Ace Custis picking up his second personal foul. And Walter McCarty will get a 2 at the line. 49 seconds to play here in the half. That's the first point for McCarty.
Anthony Epps is trying to get Rick Pitino's attention to find out what defense he wants him in.
Rick is teaching up the other end of the bench. McCarty gets it back to a 10-point game. Custis will dribble it up himself, and that gets it ahead to Watlington. Here's Jackson. Mans, now we go into 10 again on the shot clock. Mans the dish. Good shot by Smith on the baseline. The Hokies taking time off the clock and getting some pretty good looks here the last 4 minutes or so.
Bill Foster's got to give a sigh of relief. If he can go into that locker room under 10 points, he's got to feel good about it.
Epps the miss. Shepard tracks it down. Nope, wasn't going to count. A 9-3 run by Virginia Tech at the end of the first half to score. Kentucky 38, Virginia Tech 30. Pat O'Brien and Clark Kellogg will be along with Pennzoil after half after this message and a word from your local station.
In searching for a luxury performance sedan, Michael Young tested the Oldsmobile LSS against 3 of the fastest Japan has to offer: the Infiniti J30, Lexus ES300, and teppanyaki chef Yasu Norimoto. And while his 240 horsepower LSS was no match for Yasu's speed, not only did Mr. Young fare much better against the imports, he had them for lunch. Will the LSS pass your test?
An innocent man accused of murder faces a town without pity.
Wouldn't shoot an unarmed man, would you?
No, I wouldn't. I'd sure beat the hell out of you.
Milker tonight.
Who's next?
This is CBS.
Colorado means fun. Colorado means excitement. Colorado's car, Pontiac Extreme. Grand Am, the #1 selling car in its class in the front range. Sleek aerodynamic styling, 150 horsepower, steering wheel controlled AM/FM cassette stereo. Extreme excitement, thousands less than the imports. Grand Am GT with air, 0 down or $199 a month or less. 0 down or $199 a month or less. See your Colorado Pontiac excitement team.
No one really knows how ancient people ever navigated vast oceans. And who can say for sure just how the Great Pyramids of Egypt were built? The world is full of mystery. Why, for example, would you ever call anyone else to handle your real estate needs when RE/MAX associates across the continent average more experience and more sales per agent?
It boggles the mind.
Where did it come from? What does it mean?
Why do I have this sudden urge to sell my condo?
At AutoZone, we carry filters for just about every car on the road. And we've got most every kind of oil you could ever need, more than 10 brands and 30 weights. But no matter which oil you choose to put in your car, you gotta do something with the old stuff. So just bring your used oil back to us. We'll take care of it for you. You see, helping you recycle, that's just one more reason why there's no place better than AutoZone.
CBS Sports presents Pennzoil at the Half, sponsored by Pennzoil. For more engine miles, Pennzoil works like liquid ball bearings.
And welcome to Pennzoil at the Half. Pat O'Brien along with Clark Kellogg. 3 #1 seeds playing. 2 of them are in trouble, including Purdue. Down to Georgia, 52-40 right now. Let's send you out to Albuquerque and Tim Brando for this game.
Harrison with yet another pickpocket. Those quicker hands. There have been 4 blocks in this game by the Bulldogs. They lead by 12.
Defense. Purdue has to utilize their quickness on defense. Being quick and first to the ball.
But another deflection, and that time a poor pass by Strong. 15:34 remaining. Georgia leading by a dozen. Tubby Smith getting a lot of help from Mr. Robinson.
Yes, another morning, another trek to the office. But in the new Mercedes E-Class, you're in one of the safest cars on the road. You're inside a protective cage with front airbags and, get this, side airbags. Heaven knows there are animals on these roads.
Hey, what's up, John? Hey, what's up, man? Watch the curve. Yeah, well, driving like my grandma.
Yeah, you drink like mine.
Just give me a break, man. Watch it.
The idea is to keep the car on the road.
Yeah, how about give me another drink?
Yeah, right. I think you've had enough.
I think I'm fine. Give me the wheel. Yeah, hold on, man. I got it, man. Yo, man, just slow down, man. Yeah, man. Let me tell you about giving the bell, man.
Today's college student athletes face unparalleled pressures. The NCAA and its members provide the tools to help student athletes meet the challenges of life beyond the playing field through the Champs Life Skills Program. This program seeks to assure student athletes of success academically, athletically, and emotionally. The Champs Life Skills Program, preparing the whole person.
This message provided by the NCAA.
I want to be a great athlete and a great student. So I have to put in a lot of hard hours practicing and studying. Sometimes I need to relax, enjoy myself with my friends, but using drugs would destroy everything I've worked to achieve. I don't need drugs, and neither do you.
If you or someone you know needs help or information concerning drug abuse, call this toll-free number, 1-800-662-HELP. This message provided by the NCAA.
Let's check in on Nash Bridges, just beating the buzzer. Nash with the slam dunk and the foul. Catch Don Johnson as Nash Bridges, March 29 on CBS.
The Georgia Bulldogs have taken control of this game by number 11, Bertha Robinson, who's going to utilize his dribble penetration to be able to get inside again. Another wide open lane as he dribbles by Justin Jennings to get inside, take the defense. Another outstanding assist for Terrell Bell on an easy layup.
And Terrell Bell wears 44, has 4 for 4 from the floor, 4 rebounds, 4 blocks. A lot of 4s for Terrell. Miller gets it up and over Bell this time. Brad Miller only has 4 points in the day, and it's 52-42.
Gene Katie has to like that set. Get the ball inside. It was a controlled situation, not a panic situation. They got out of character the last couple of times down, trying to rush into their offense.
G.G. Smith has checked into the game. Tubby Smith's son, recruited out of Tulsa, and very easily out of Tulsa. Ray Harrison on the deck with him. Power move by Harrison. And Georgia loses the offensive glass. Elbridge gives it up to Jennings. Offensive foul. Hanging in the air, Gene Katie can't believe it. Our game summary, the Boilermakers have had the game taken to them by the Bulldogs. And that athletic, quicker to the ball mentality that the Bulldogs have. Shooting 53% doesn't hurt. Bell getting very easy looks with the help of Robinson's penetration. Strong has 10 points on the day. And Gene Katie getting a warning from Jerry Donahue.
Well, Gene's not happy because he doesn't feel like his team is getting some calls right now, but you got to give Georgia a lot of credit. Not only are they doing it offensively, but they're doing a great job defensively.
Look at that. K2 Davis finding Bell in the transition.
K2 averages on the season about 4 assists a game, and it's just a terrific ball handler. He and Pertha Robinson can both set up their teammates by slick handle.
Strong the rebound. Georgia winning the war of the boards.
One shot and out for the Boilermakers.
Smith working against Allen Eldridge, gives it up to Harrison. There's the box out and the push by Roy Hairston, as Carlos Strong does the job in blocking out.
But what about K2 Davis once again? Watch the dribble penetration that he's able to achieve here. He's going to turn Todd Foster completely around. Brad Miller bites, and here's an excellent pass over the top. Purdue has to be able to get back, but you have to like the fact that you want to make that penetration around the foul line, but give it up at the right time. And if you get a guy on your team following, easy baskets, easy conversions.
K2 Davis has the number 24 on the back of his shoes, and that's out of respect of a fellow signee, Jamil Dardell, who was killed in a car accident. He wears the number 24 as a sign of support for the family of his fallen friend. There you see the number 24, K2 Davis. This is a young man that comes from the Motor City, learned the game on the street, still works out in the offseason with the likes of Steve Smith, who of course plays for the Atlanta Hawks. And when you come from Detroit, there is a fraternity there where basketball is concerned.
Oh, you will learn how to play on the playgrounds, and that's one area that a lot of kids really don't utilize as much as I think they should. You learn how to play the game on the playground. You learn how to be coached during the season.
Nordine is on the floor, number 42 for the Bulldogs. Harrison, G.G. Smith, Carlos Strong with K2 Davis. As Tubby Smith now with this cushion can utilize some of his bench at this high altitude.
I think he's going to try to do that, but he also wants to be able to take advantage of the clock and get some easy opportunities inside.
That was a nice high-low look that time to G.G. Smith. It just didn't fall. Roberts ridden out by K2 Davis. He picks up the first one. Shandon Anderson, you'll recall, picked up an early third, and that's the third on K2 Davis. Don't forget, a lot yet to come tonight. Two outstanding matchups, Drexel and Syracuse.
Pat O'Brien in New York, Kentucky up 38-30. We're going to send you out to Indianapolis now, where Eastern Michigan and UConn about to get underway in the second half. Eastern Michigan with a surprise here, Clark Kellogg. They're up by 1 over the number 1 seed UConn.
And they scored 15 points off turnovers. Both teams shooting it well. Should be a tight one the rest of the way.
Let's go down to Indianapolis in the RCA Dome, where Quinn Buckner and Gus Johnson are at courtside. Enjoy.
So we begin the second half of play. Eastern Michigan on top of Connecticut, 48-47. In the first 10 minutes, Eastern Michigan in the first half, 13 of 18 shooting, 72%. In the second 10 minutes, 6 of 16 shooting, 37%. For UConn in the first 10, they were 10 of 19, 52%. In the second 10, 9 of 14, 64%.
Again, UConn, the emotional side of the game favored Eastern Michigan at the top. Once it settled down, then you could see that it was going to be UConn that was going to play its game.
And we get a whistle. Looks like Theron Wilson steps on the baseline.
Not the way you want to start out the second half against a team like Connecticut. You see coming out, pressure, full court pressure.
Wilson with 12 points in the first half of play. And here's Sheffer guarded by Boykins.
See, Boykins has got to get more active on Sheffer. If you let Sheffer get where he wants to go, he'll find Ray Allen, and Ray just will make too many plays.
As he does there.
Yeah, you've got to get active, and you've got to figure out where Ray Allen is, and Boykins has got to force Sheffer the other direction.
12 first half points for Ray Allen. He's got 14. Connecticut with the 1-point lead. Tolbert fading away.
So the Eagles fly on Friday, and they're trying to fly on Saturday as well against the #1 seed. They're down only by a point in the second half. Connecticut leading 49-48. We'll keep you up to date on that game as the day progresses. As for the day in the early evening here on the East Coast at 6:48 Eastern Time, #12 Drexel against #4 Syracuse. Malik Rose and John Wallace. And then at 7:08, you can hold us to that if you want, Princeton and Mississippi State, Clark.
Well, Princeton going to have a tough time with Eric Dampier and the size of Mississippi State.
All right, 2 more good games for you in our next tour. Thanks for watching Pennzoil at the half.
To open the second half. Epps. Nope, he didn't save it.
If you're a Virginia Tech fan, you have to be concerned about the fact that Virginia Tech cannot find interior offensive shots. Everything they're taking is on the perimeter. It's going to be tough to beat Kentucky shooting jump shots for 40 minutes.
Washington looked briefly inside at Jackson. Now he goes there. The double team. And the steal by Epps. That's playing the passing lanes right there, but he couldn't make the layup. Smith. That was a tough pass to handle.
Kentucky certainly has given Virginia Tech numerous opportunities to close this lead. In fact, even maybe to go ahead. But Virginia Tech continues to display an inability to take advantage of these opportunities.
Antoine Walker over the top. He's the game's high scorer with 14. The lead back to 10. Numbers here for the Hokies. Custis, along with the Jackson, an offensive rebound. And a foul underneath going to go on Delk. Here's Walker on the receiving end.
Tony Delk, his 3rd personal foul.
Kentucky gets a lob play in their early offense. They didn't have numbers. They stayed patient. Stepped up, set a back screen for the lob play. That was all out of their early offense.
Delk sits down with his 3rd personal foul. Smith kicks it out. Jackson will try a 3. In and out. Rebound McCarty. Shepard was trying to post Watlington. They go the other side. Walker. Nope. Anderson the follow.
Derek Anderson.
Kentucky, a good offensive rebounding team.
The way Kentucky scores in spurts, they're on the verge of blowing this one wide open right now, Mike. They get one of those 10-point runs going, this game could well be over. And I base that on 2 things. Their intense pressure on defense and Virginia Tech's inability to find high-quality shots.
There's Rick Majerus as he does a little scouting here along the table. His Utes, great effort this afternoon. Michael Doliak, Andre Miller, Keith Van Horn, a valiant comeback from a sickbed.
Rick told me the toughest decision he was going to have to make after the game is where was he going to go eat.
And Tim Floyd still here, and not a happy guy obviously right now, but a great year for that coach and one of the really bright young minds in the country. Great job with that Iowa State Cyclone team. Give Custis credit for that tip-in. Just his 2nd basket of the day.
Virginia Tech's 7th offensive rebound.
Good look by Walker there. And that's what you were saying off the top of the show, Coach, about Antoine Walker making his teammates better.
What made that play, Mike, as Antoine Walker's backing up? Look at his head. He's looking for someone to pass. See, his first priority on that play was not to score, but to pass. And that's what Rick Pitino's been selling him on.
McCarty at the line looking to complete the old-fashioned 3-point play. And he does. Kentucky lead is a dozen. Virginia Tech's going to have to be careful with those long passes. You can't put a lot of air under the ball when you're playing Kentucky.
In the first half, Virginia Tech was 2 for 3 from the foul line. And the reason they don't have more foul shots is right there. It's a jump shooting offense. There's not enough pressure on the defense to create foul shooting opportunities.
Out of bounds, and it'll remain Kentucky ball. There you see Rick Pitino, 6 years, a lot of pressure on that job. He's winning 80% of his games, and some might say there are some Kentucky fans who are not satisfied. Hard to believe, Coach, right?
Well, you look at that graphic, and the thing that people forget, Rick Pitino's been at Kentucky 5 years. In 5 years, they've been to 2 Elite Eights and a Final Four. How many coaches can say in their first 5 years at an institution, they went to 2 Elite Eights and a Final Four?
Adolph Rupp won those championships, but he was also there for 42 years.
The man in the brown suit. You know, Adolph Rupp always wore a brown suit when he coached the game.
Antoine Walker cradles the rebound. Shepard, nice little crossover move, keeps on going too hard. Pope couldn't keep it alive, but it comes right back to Walker. He was trying to find Pope. It was tipped out of bounds by Smith. It's still going to be Kentucky ball. Bill Foster upset with the call, but it looked like Smith got a hand on it.
Mark Pope from Kentucky. He's an honors student, Mike. He was recently interviewed for a Rhodes Scholar.
Walter McCarty returns for Kentucky.
Had a perfect 4.0 last semester in English.
Wants to be a lawyer.
Uh-oh.
Not that we don't have enough of them already.
We better stop. We'll get letters.
Well, I live in California, and it's well documented that they have too many lawyers in California.
Cuts this down low, squeezes it up, and you'll get to the line.
But Virginia Tech doesn't have too many interior opportunities. That was one that they needed. This is what I was talking about. If you take the ball inside, you create some foul shot opportunities for yourself as well as field goal opportunities for yourself. Rick Pitino came into the game. I talked to the Kentucky broadcasters at halftime. They said that Rick told them before the game he was very concerned about Pope and McCarty getting in foul trouble.
That's the third for Pope. He sits down. Loose ball picked off by McCarty. Turner gets it ahead to Shepard. Ooh, that's going to be an offensive foul on Shepard. That's going to be the third on Jeff Shepard. We're going to get a timeout. 15:46 to go in a 10-point game.
Balance this offense between inside and outside offense. They can put themselves back in the game. But they're not going to do it shooting jump shots for the remainder of this game. They've got to build an inside offense for themselves.
Who do they have to find? Custis, Smith, or both?
Anybody that they can get inside. Now, there's a second interior basket. 2 possessions in a row. 2 scores and 2 fouls. That's what I said earlier. That they've got to force Kentucky into foul trouble. Penetrate, draw the defense to you, drop it off. But what was most important on the last 2 possessions was that Virginia Tech also got to the foul line.
11 now for Smith. 7-point game at 45-38. Anderson looking for Walker. Unable to make the pass. Smith with the overplay.
Walker does a real nice job of posting up. He gets a nice wide base in there, uses his arms, and seals the man and asks for the pass. And he's down so low that it's difficult to stop him once he gets the ball. See, all he had to do was turn and lay it up off the backboard. I believe Virginia Tech will make an adjustment, and they'll start to play him on the high side. A little dangerous playing him on the front of the mic because they'll drop it over top.
Watlington able to track down the miss. Saved by Good. Gets it to Mans. McCarty is back. And Mans thinks better of it.
I don't know how many more opportunities Kentucky can give Virginia Tech.
Inside, knocked away. That was Walker over the top. Well, he's a skilled basketball player. Mercer, and he got fouled by Sean Good. On Good, that will be his third. Bill Foster doesn't have the deepest bench in the world.
Well, the first half he played 7 guys. Kentucky played 11. Virginia Tech's done a nice job of taking away the three-point line from Kentucky. Kentucky only had 6 attempts in the first half.
There's Walker showing us the hook shot. It won't stay. Watlington able to keep it alive underneath. Custis saves it. Back to Mans. Mans, the kick to Watlington. Watlington, the penetration, throws it up. No. McCarty clears. Gets it to half court to Walker. Alley-oop. Oh, Mercer.
Anton Walker has amazing vision. He always has the other 4 teammates within his vision, and he'll find the one that's open. He just signaled to Rick Pitino that he needs to come out of the game and get a blow.
And he commits that foul in the lane. Let's take a look at that fast break.
That was a fatigue foul. He's tired. His man made a cut to the basket. He reached out and grabbed him.
Perfect pass.
What a luxury to have a 6'9" player with guard skills. The foul was a result of fatigue. He had already signaled to Rick Pitino he wanted to come out of the game because he was tired. His man made a cut to the basket and he reached out and grabbed him. Antoine Walker.
Smith, nice spin move, and the push is going to be called on Walter McCarty from behind. That is just the first foul on McCarty. And the 7th team foul on Kentucky. So Virginia Tech is going to have opportunities here at the free throw line. 13:28 still to go. Sean Smith knocks that one down. If you'd like to see some of the players who'll be playing in the 97-98 NCAA tournaments, just take a look. The McDonald's All-American High School game coming your way on the 31st at 2:30 here on CBS.
And if you want to see some former McDonald All-American players, we just have to switch the camera to Kentucky's bench.
You bet. Kentucky's bench isn't particularly happy right now. Neither are the Wildcat fans. Here's Mercer down on the block. Jump hook is short. It's ripped down by Smith.
4 players on that Kentucky roster that played in the McDonald All-American game.
Watlington coming around the screen, gives it back up to Good.
I'm not sure Virginia Tech had anybody that played the McDonald's All-American game. I think they have a bunch of players who eat at McDonald's, though.
Travis Jackson has to take a timeout. We'll take it too. Well, now they're going to call it a 20-second timeout, so we will stay right here with 12:54 to play in the first half.
Virginia Tech's down 9. There's plenty of time in this basketball game for Virginia Tech to make a serious run. But they have to finish their offensive plays. The other thing, Mike, that I think has really helped Kentucky is, unlike when they played Wisconsin Green Bay, Virginia Tech's offense does not have as good a spacing in it as it did against Wisconsin Green Bay.
Connecticut life and death with Eastern Michigan right now, 68-66. And Kentucky with their hands full. Mans did everything but put it in. And then Smith stepped out of bounds with it. It'll be Kentucky basketball. If you're Bill Foster and you said, hey, Bill, with just under 13 to go, it's a 9-point game, I think he takes that this morning, doesn't he?
I think he'd take it for right now, but what he really wants is he wants his players to get better balance in the offense. The 2 times they went in, they scored, and they got fouled.
This time it was Epps finding Mercer. 2 loud hoops for the freshman here. Pushes it back to 11. Mans is in trouble. And he has to use another timeout. This time it's a full timeout. 12-13 left to go in the game as Bill Foster tells his kids. Free throw line.
3:57 left. Purdue is trying to avoid becoming just the 5th #1 seed to lose in the second round since 1986.
And you can feel it right now. I mean, you just can feel it.
Everybody remembers his, but nobody remembers the fact that you put Kentucky ahead in that overtime in that great game against Duke.
Only people remember that as Kentucky fans.
Yeah, but it was a great moment. You think about that a lot?
All the time, wondering what would happen if we did make it to the Final Four.
And where your name would be in Kentucky legend, huh?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
What are you doing now, Sean Woods?
I'm an account executive for WLEX in Lexington.
Well, congratulations and good luck. Now, could your team have beaten this Kentucky team?
Chevy Trucks is proud to help the U.S. ski team get where they are today.
Antoine Walker, the guy we talked about off the top, Coach.
He has such unique basketball skills. He can jump, he's quick, he can pass, he can shoot it inside and outside, he can rebound it. As I said earlier,
Cheerfully Daffy.
Join 60 Minutes Ed Bradley at ringside Sunday to watch Muhammad Ali, still the greatest, in the fight of his life against the toughest opponent he
Dad moved here after the Army. I knew working for him wasn't going to be easy, and he didn't disappoint me. A while ago, he started getting these pains. He'd take a couple of Tylenol or Advil and carry on, but at the end of the day, they weren't enough. So we called the doctor, who said to try Aleve.
Fast-acting form of the medicine in Neprosyn. Even I know Neprosyn.
Top prescription brand for years. Aleve lasts longer than extra-strength Tylenol. In fact, at the end of the day, it's stronger relief than a dose of Advil. So Dad tried it. If you want something to work better, you change the parts. Aleve was all he needed. He's a great father, even though he's a pain in the neck.
Isn't she sweet?
Aleve. All day strong, all day long.
Later on The Tonight Show, nobody does Don Rickles like Don Rickles.
We get to see Jay Leno try to eat with that funny chin.
By the way, how do you eat? Apparently not as well as you. And nobody does Bill Clinton like Phil Hartman.
I will in hell.
Plus, from Melrose Place, Courtney Thorne-Smith, followed by an all-new Conan, NBC tonight.
Eric Anderson. Team foul number 9.
Well, that looked mighty interesting there to me. It appeared that the defensive man had his 2 feet planted and his shoulders squared.
Trying to give him Derek the benefit of the doubt on that one. Troy Mans with his 3rd point of the afternoon. 10:05 to go in the game. 15-point Wildcat lead. Ace Custis and company.
In this situation, many teams would probably hit Kentucky with a full court press, but Virginia Tech is not a pressing team.
Makes it awful hard to come back from 14 to 15, unless the other guys cooperate and miss. No tip. Look at Walker.
Someone's got to put a body on that young man.
Antoine with 20. Man's able to get away from Pope. Gets it over to Custis.
Virginia Tech needs to assign someone to Antoine Walker and tell him when the shot goes up, put a body on him. I don't care if you get the rebound, just make sure he does not get the rebound.
Seven on the shot clock. Rebound loose. Delka's got it. Get it quickly to Epps. Over to Pope. Pope the jump stop and 2.
That last shot by Sean Smith is what I call a fatigue shot. He's tired. He's the last one down the floor right now for Virginia Tech. That young man has tired legs and a tired mind.
Good, unable to make that shot. A rebound taken down. Wildcats have the ball and their largest lead. It's 18. Trying to tip that in. He just couldn't get good position.
Mike, Virginia Tech players do not have much spring left in their legs. They're not getting their legs under the shot. They're losing their shooting rhythm. Look at them. They're bending over, holding on to the trunks. This is a team that Kentucky has worn down physically.
Got a foul on Derek Anderson there off the ball.
The sequence usually is...
Pat O'Brien in New York, we want to get you quickly out to Albuquerque, where Purdue is trying not to be upset. They're down by 5 against a tough Georgia team. 1:58 left in the half. Let's go to Tim Brando and Derek Dickey. Tim.
1:58 separating Georgia from knocking out a top seed, Purdue. They lead by 5. They've led by double digits throughout most of this game off a 20-2 first half run against the Boilermakers. Brandon Brantley just fouled out of the game for Purdue after hitting a 3 to draw Gene Katie's team to within 5.
This is a coach's son. This is G.G. Smith taking the ball all the way to the basket. Brandon Brantley trying to block the shot, comes over the top and makes body contact. Has to leave the game with his 5th foul.
Bertha Robinson, the senior, comes back into the game, replacing G.G. Smith. Foster becomes your 3-point option, and there's Anderson right there to shadow him.
Boilermakers need someone who wants the ball to try to make something happen offensively. Take the big play.
Jennings into the lane and drawing the foul. Terrell Bell picking up his 3rd. He has had a monster game. 6 blocked shots, only 3 personal fouls, and 15 points. And the Boilermakers, who have been beset by the SEC 3 times in the second round in the last 10 years, in danger of having the same thing happen in the decade of the 90s. Our game reset. Each team with a full complement of full timeouts. Neither has a 20, and the arrow to Georgia. Herb Dove will come into the game as Jennings sits down. This has been a remarkable showing for this Georgia team, with a freshman backcourt on the floor much of the day, with Bertha Robinson's stomach flu on IVs as late as yesterday. Robinson came up with some big plays early. The offense is controlled, Derek, but then the defenses took hold to no one's surprise in the second half.
The second half was very big. As far as Georgia was concerned, they limited Purdue to just one look at the basket because they were able to control the boards, but also keeping a hand in the face of the Boilermakers every time they wanted to take a shot. But I think Bertha Robinson was a major factor in this game. Did not play against Clemson, but his ability to be able to handle the ball and control the floor was key.
Carlos Strong, the senior out of Athens and Cedar Shoals High School, getting to the line. The Bulldogs in the double bonus, the remaining minute 28. And Carlos has not missed. SEC with an opportunity of remaining unbeaten with a win today, and I think most pundits believe Purdue would be the top seed that would have the most trouble getting out.
I think so, and they really did not get a lot of credit coming in, but now, tonight, they have to worry about defense. Defense has to be their focal point, and then come down and patiently put the ball in the basket.
Strong with his first miss at the line. It's still a 2-possession game, 70-64. Nice Nice look to Jennings. Rejected by Bell. Bring up another block for Terrell Bell. He's rolling a 7 today. They have a casino not far in Santa Fe.
Oh, what a terrific defensive effort once again by Terrell Bell. You see Todd Foster losing the handle, but he finds Justin Jennings, and Jennings is a terrific leaper trying to take the ball in with 2 hands, but you're not coming in there, says Terrell Bell.
An eliminator inside. This is a young man that only averaged about 12 minutes a game a year ago with a 7-footer, Charles Claxton, who at one time was a second-round draft pick. Jennings, this time, gets hammered.
Coming from the weak side again. Nice defensive effort by Terrell Bell, keeping the ball in play. His teammates trying to hustle after it, unable to get there, but Purdue still unable to take advantage of getting the offensive possession.
Gene has seen enough of him. He didn't need him in his lap. That's a little too up close and personal for Coach Katie, I'm sure, after watching Bell do what he's done today. That's his 4th. But at this stage, why not take a few chances?
Well, the Boilermakers have to get the ball to the basket, but they also have to make free throws.
Dove checks back in, Jennings out, as Coach Katie makes his own offensive for defensive substitution. 1:11 remaining and a 5-point Bulldogs lead.
Just 2-possession game. The Boilermakers need a stop on the defensive end.
Veteran move. Davis off again with Bertha Robinson getting it to the middle of the floor.
And attacking the pressure instead of becoming conservative.
Carlos with his own strong rejection.
Offensively, when you're taking the ball out against pressure, you don't want to hesitate. Get the ball to the middle of the court. Once you get it, attack. Advance the ball up the court. Take advantage of it. Kedu Davis takes the ball right to the rack. But how about Carlos Strong? He's given Terrell Bell some support on the defensive end. He actually blocks this one with his backhand.
Austin, a leaner, pulled down by the Bulldogs, and Brad Miller may be guilty of the personal. If so, Chevrolet Coach of the Year award and all of the accolades. He is certainly deserving, and you can see they even still manage a smile. His wife Trish and daughter Lisa. So much he's gone through the course of this season. And everyone would admit that Gene Katie's presence in the Big Ten has been both hard and heartfelt through the course of this year.
Gene Katie and the Purdue Boilermakers have earned respect in the Big Ten. They no longer have to sit in the shadows of the other school in Indiana.
The possession arrow to Georgia. He doesn't think it's over. Strong. Proving once again that it's what is up front that counts. He has 16. And a turnover by Purdue.
Trying to rush and get the shot. It's a 3-possession game for the Boilermakers. They need a couple of threes, but even more importantly than that, they need the clock to stop and put some points.
They ran into difficulty in 1990, had not been to an NCAA tournament since. A very difficult decision for athletic director Vince Dooley in letting Hugh Durham go. And then Tubby Smith turns out to be the silver lining in what had been a cloudy 5-year period for Coach Dooley in bringing him in. And Tubby has been very quick to point out that this is Hugh Durham's talent. Talent that was part of a 92 recruiting class considered second best in the country and labeled classic underachievers. Well, those days are done as it gets sweeter in the Sweet 16.
Well, it helps to have players who are experienced in the 8 seniors that the Bulldogs have, but it also helps to have a coach who's experienced in knowing how to continue to advance in the NCAA tournament.
Austin trying to get free for a 3 is Roberts. Georgia's defense of the perimeter has been outstanding. That rainbow won't fall. Loose ball. Foster for 3. And the foul will go against K2 Davis. I'd like to make a point, Derek, relative to the Big Ten's problem in the NCAA tournament in recent years, and that is this. Without a postseason conference tournament, and I know the purists in the Big Ten hate hearing anyone say this, but even though you can say, well, that's just for money, it does put in the mind of the players, if you lose a game, you're sent home. Now, you may get to play again in the NCAAs, but that may be a problem for the Big Ten in preparing themselves for the mental aspect of the NCAA tournament.
The Big Ten and the Pac-10 do not have postseason tournaments. The Ivy League, not as much, but those two conferences, those super conferences, as we talk about, it's a very important factor to know that in postseason play, it is one game and out.
It is a tough league, and to win it 3 times in a row is a tremendous accomplishment. But for the Georgia Bulldogs, the feeling is outstanding, finishing second.
Send you out to Indianapolis, where UConn leads Eastern Michigan 85-77.
1 minute, 43 seconds remaining. UConn leading Eastern Michigan 85-77. Daron Sheffer, really the story for this Connecticut team, as he just took over in the second half, scoring points and coming up with steals and just basically directing traffic for the Huskies.
Hey, he did it as well, and so did Ray Allen. And we had talked about at the top of the show whether or not Ricky Moore would have some impact, or the lack of Ricky Moore would have some impact. These two guys stood up to the test, Sheffer and Allen, and then made the plays they had to make. The ball handling plays is what you want to see, as well as defensively.
And a whistle inside. Kirk King call for the foul against Theron Wilson.
Foul is on the Huskies, number 13.
And so far, the game summary, the inside power of Connecticut proving to be a little bit too much for Eastern.
Well, it's the combination of the inside power, 30 points in the paint, 22 offensive rebounds. But when your guards give you those kind of numbers, that's inside, outside. That's the mark of a solid basketball team, and a team that definitely will make a run, a solid, serious run for the NCAA championship.
Theron Wilson, he's got 8 points.
Number 11, Boykins.
16 points, rather, 8 of 8.
For the Eagles.
From the free throw line.
Full court pressure, just got Boykins back in the game.
Here's Knight to King. For Kirk King, Boykins heaving one, and Travis Knight with the rebound.
You got a team that's experienced. We've talked about it. You've got to have guards that can play, forwards that can play. This is Travis Knight that makes the pass. That's your center. And that's the finish of Mr. King. King of the road. Oh, no, don't go for that. Torrey Mills knows he's going to hear about that one.
Travis Knight at the free throw line, 1:09 to play, and as Connecticut continues to advance, all the little things will really benefit them. On the season, they shoot 73% from the free throw line.
Jim Calhoun's got his team. He's got a right to have a little bit of a smile. He knows his crew has been through enough tough games here. When they get a lead like this with a minute or so to go, they're difficult to beat.
And our MVPs for Eastern Michigan. What a game for Brian Tolbert. 34 points, 13 of 23, and Daron Sheffer. Ray Allen with a great game, but it was Sheffer really making the difference for UConn. Partially blocked. Timmy Berkovich in the game now for Eastern Michigan. Cross-court pass, Allen.
But Allen did the smart thing. They've got it where you want. You don't need to be go to the basket and try to make a dunk. If you ever do that and you embarrass somebody, that's also an opportunity that you can get hurt. So bring it back out. You can shoot some foul shots.
It's been a big year for Eastern Michigan and Brian Tolbert. The Eagles winning the MAC and beating Duke in the first round here. And for Connecticut, with 50.2 seconds remaining, they'll continue to play. And their recent history in the NCAAs.
They've had some heartbreaks in trying to get to win the championship.
One of the three All-Stars from the Colorado Rockies